welcome to YHELPtalks with Taylor. Today we are with Miss Sammi Reyes, a motivational speaker that will talk to us about hope. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So tell us about yourself and your background.
Yeah, sure. So I am a second-year student at San Diego State University. I'm doing a major with emphases in journalism, psychology, and counseling. I am a motivational speaker, motivational podcaster, and writer. I do a lot, on my blog. I talk about, just different tips for college students in order to succeed. I talk, a lot on the podcast about how one can find their passion, how one can develop healthy habits. And then, when I speak, I do very similar things. I have a whole process for how one can find their passion and really, sort of live out their life in the best way they can, and also how they can create their dream life.
What does hope mean to you?
Yeah, so I think for me, I really have used this word a lot more in the past couple of, months to a year. I think, for college, I moved cross country, so I moved from New York to California. And a lot of the things that I wanted to do, a lot of the things that I had in mind, sort of my fantasy world, didn't really go the way they wanted, or I wanted them to, didn't really go the way that they planned. And I think that, the word hope, it's like you can sort of like wish and, pray on things that you want to happen, but some of them may not come true. And hope is a thing where it's like, you just have to sort of believe in what's going to happen, and you have to believe that, whatever is happening, because it needs to be, because it's supposed to be. And I think that the word hope, like exactly what it is, I think just, to me at least, it just means sort of like this sense of believing that everything is going to turn out the way it should. And it does sound cliche in a little bit, but I think that, when one does really experience a situation where, you think you're not going to make it out on the other end, you sort of this hope, how this glimmer of light sort of comes to be.
Has there ever been a time where you felt hopeless?
I mean, yeah, for sure. For me, like motivational speaker and being a podcaster is very unconventional for my sort of family. My dad is in corporate, my grandmother and, my mom and my great grandmother, they were all teachers. And so when I approached my parents about this situation, because I became a speaker, a podcaster, because I was just going through so much of my life, and I finally had this like light bulb moment, the spring semester, my senior year, where I was like, this is what I've been needing to do all this time. Why haven't I done it earlier? And I think that, when people don't really agree and are not on the same page as you in terms of like, what you believe you can achieve with your life, it feels paralyzing, it feels traumatizing, because you thought that these are the people who cared about you most, and although they still do deep down, they're just trying to look out for you, but at the same time, it's like you believe they don't because they don't understand, and so I was so lucky to find some other people who actually understood sort of like the circumstance, like what I wanted to do exactly, and I was able to sort of talk with them about it and ask them, like, how do I, bring this up to my parents again and say, and, sort of convince them that this is going to be a good track for me. I think that's a really key point, because a lot of people, I think a lot of teens nowadays as well, they have these like big ideas and these big things they want to achieve and they want to accomplish, and they're so good. It just their parents, and people who are older than them just like don't really understand it, because it is a new age right now, and there are a lot of things that are changing. And so I think that that's been sort of a really big thing. Obviously, sort of in the end of middle school, the beginning of high school, I struggled a lot with sort of like this depression and this anxiety piece, and it really was hard because I didn't know what it was at the time. Like I just knew I felt off. I remember going to one of my teachers in the middle of freshman year, and I was like, I told her, I was like, hey, can I talk to you outside for a second? Because it was like, she was like a co-teacher, and she's like, yeah, of course. And so we went outside, and I was like, I just feel like I'm drowning, and I don't know how to get my head above water. And she was like, Sammy, like, you just need to, like, you know, sort of like figure out things and tell people, you know, like, she's like, have you told your parents? And I was like, no, because I'm not really close to my parents, you know, so I didn't really tell them anything. And that, in that sort of moment when I didn't know about therapy, I didn't know about, you know, sort of exercising and, like, you know, doing things better for my body and stuff like that, I just felt so like, what do I do? Like, there's nothing for me to do anymore. And so I feel like that's also a prime example, and I feel like that's more of an example that, you know, teens can relate to.
Hey, don't click out the video yet. Did you like, comment, and subscribe? And also, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YHELPnow. And don't forget to check out my blogs at YHELPnow.com. See you later. Bye.